It's not on. Okay. It's a lag. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? How's it going? Hey, hey, can you hear me, Mike? He said, say something. Can you hear me? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. Okay. It was taking a minute to get going there. Hey, Mike, how are you? How was your Monday? How's your week? Um, there you go. Good, you can hear me. Excellent. So, how's your Monday? How's your week? Good deal. Good deal. I had a little hiccup getting this one set up today. I don't know what was going on, but I just couldn't get it right. I ended up setting up twice. I had to delete one. Anyways, it wouldn't let me put the time in. Anyways, we're here. We're here now. We're here. Hey, GT Junior, how you doing? How's your Monday? How's your week? Too hot? Yes, that part. It's so funny. I was outside this morning about 8:30ish, and I walked outside, and it's Monday, so y'all know Monday's trash day. So I went out to take the trash to the street, and I was just standing there, and I was thinking, I used to like hot weather. What happened? I used to love the summertime. I used to love the heat. What happened? I don't know. I do not know what happened. But hey, God's desire for me. Let's see. What is this weather looking like? Weather for Anchorage. Conditions are cloudy with a temperature of 59 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the east northeast at 6 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 72%. Ooh, 72. It was, let's see, at 6 o'clock this afternoon, it was still 92 degrees, but the humidity was 48. I was like, I can live with that. 48 is not bad. Y'all, I gotta do my hair. Um, because I can't let it dry like this, or I will never be able to comb it again. Weather for Minneapolis. Conditions are clear with a temperature of 83 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the south at 11 miles per hour. 11. And the current humidity is 66%. Nice. Weather for Fayetteville. Conditions are clear with a temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the southeast at 1 mile per hour, and the current humidity is 84%. Yeah, it's a Monday. Cleaning up before my cousin comes here. Oh, nice. Your cousin coming? That's nice. I hope it's nice. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. But anyways, y'all, I'm gonna do my hair really quickly while I'm on here because yeah, that part it just needs to be done. I just cannot let it dry in this condition or yeah. Anyways, weather for Montgomery. Conditions are clear with a temperature of 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Mike, is it hotter where you are than it is here? I forgot what the temperature was. The wind is blowing from the south at 1 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 88%. Weather for Fayetteville is 80. Um, Minneapolis is 83. Yes, you're hotter. You are hotter than it is here. I knew you were hot, Mike. I just knew it. And the weather has proven it. Y'all, I do not like doing my hair. I mean, I don't mind doing my hair. I shouldn't say I don't like doing my hair. I don't really mind doing my hair. It's just that, and it doesn't take long. I can do it easily. Um, it doesn't take me more than 30, 45 minutes to do my hair, no matter what I'm doing to it. Um, but I'm just going to put in some twists, some two-strand twists today. Yeah, I'm putting a little moisturizer in it, massaging the scalp a little bit. Um, my hair is falling out, y'all. I'm going bald. Um, and I don't know why, but it's okay. um, but I just put a little bit of moisturizer on the scalp, because the shampoo that I'm using is a little bit drying on the scalp, on the skin. So trying to get that moisture barrier back. And then, where's the comb? Okay, there it is. And then I am twisting it up. My mom used to make me do hers when I was little. Really? Yeah. I had a great aunt that lived next door, and I took care of her hair. She had very bad arthritis or something, that she couldn't do her hair. She could hardly walk, and but I took care of her hair. I washed it, braided it, kept it up for her. And she had beautiful hair, beautiful thick, and salt and pepper gray, more salt than pepper. And she kept it braided most of the time and pinned, braided and pinned. Look at that. See how thin that is? Don't look too hard. But yeah, she kept it braided and pinned up most of the time. But I took care of hers. And my brother, my baby brother, both my brothers are older than me. Yeah, that's what I'm using. It's a shampoo bar from my Renaissance grandma, but it is a little bit drying on my scalp. Um, so I have to be careful with it. Make sure I moisturize really good um, afterwards, or I can actually can get some, yeah, I can have some adverse reactions, put it that way. So, gotta take care of that. It's not bad on the hair itself, it's the scalp. I have really sensitive scalp, and um, yeah, I've had a hard time finding products that I can use. But, anyways, like I said, I'm just gonna twist it up. Um, and then I have this scalp oil that I make. Actually, it's a hair oil, scalp oil. I use just a little bit, not much, because it can be a little bit heavy. Um, but I like to finish up with the ends to seal in the moisture like that. So, but yeah, this is not a hair tutorial, y'all, because I am not the one to tell you how to do hair. Y'all know how I am with hair. Next week, it could be all gone. If I wake up in the morning and I feel like, um, yeah, hair is totally overrated, then yeah, it could be gone. Just like that. Um, I was using a beef tallow shampoo bar that I like that a lot because it's not stripping at all. It's very, very moisturizing, not stripping at all. I like that a lot, but I got, because then my Renaissance grandma sent me one of hers, and so I've been using that. And I like it too. Like I said, I've got sensitive scalp, so I can't use. My scalp is really crazy. I cannot use the same thing very long, so I have to switch things up. Um, or for whatever reason, I'll develop a sensitivity to it, and the next thing I know, I'll have a major breakout. Um, and it's crazy, but it is what it is. But I've always had sensitive skin. Scalp is skin, so yeah, that part. I use beef tallow to make my hair moisturizer. Yeah, it's a good moisturizer. I don't know what I'm doing with this hair. First of all, I'm not big on hair. um, but it grows so darn fast that I can't keep up with it. So, I had it short for a while and I liked it short, but I was having to cut it every 2 weeks. And if I missed, I was doing it myself and then I was going to the barber, and it just got to be a whole thing. So it's like, you know what, fine, I'll just leave it alone. And the next thing I knew, it was long enough to twist, braid, ponytail. I was like, geez, can a sister get a break? Uh, but yeah. You have a recipe for your moisturizer? What do you put in it besides beef tallow? I've got some beef tallow in the refrigerator right now that I need to render. Um, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't know if I'm doing it right or not, but hey, it is what it is. But I use it, I make a moisturizer with it. Um, I'm trying to think, did I use that beef tallow? I don't know if I used the beef tallow or if I used the coconut oil to make my deodorant last time. I don't know. I'll be making stuff. I do have a notebook that I write down um, the I'll say formulas, the recipes of what I do. I have a notebook that I keep the recipes and the formulas in because I cannot remember from one day to the next what I put in something or how much I put in it, and you know and how it came out, and what I need to tweak in it. So if I go and look at my notebook, then I will know what I put in it. Put a little bit of this on. That cream seems really light. I need to be a little bit heavier. All right, progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm doing these relatively big because honestly, I don't want to take too long to get it done, and I just want it done. Oh, goodness gracious. Jojoba, almond oil, beeswax, and herbs. Okay. rosemary, lavender, peppermint, fenugreek, and saw palmetto. I think that's it. Okay. So this oil is, let me see. I made an oil infusion with, hey Bill, how are you? Thanks for coming in. Let me see. I made an oil infusion with, I forgot. Avocado oil, rosemary, cinnamon, cloves, tea, I don't remember what else I put in it. And I let that sit for 30 days. Um, and then I mixed it with some castor oil. I think peppermint. I think some peppermint in there too. I think I mixed that with some castor oil, um, about 1/3 castor oil to 2/3 of the oil infusion. Um, yeah. And so um, the castor oil is heavy, so the avocado oil thins that out. Um, rosemary, peppermint is supposed to be good for your scalp, antibacterial, antifungal, and antimicrobial, and it's supposed to be good for your scalp. So there's that. And hey, Scott, how are you? The one night I decided to do my hair, and more people come in. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my hair done while it's still wet because once it dries, there is no combing it. It's like there is no combing this stuff once it dries. Um, but I'll be done here in a minute. But yeah, how's your week going though? What's everybody doing? Got big plans for the week or not? I don't because y'all know, retired. I don't have any big plans for this week. I want to see my son, um, but I think this is his. I think he's got exams this week, so not going to happen this week. Maybe next week. Um, it's been super hot, and let me just tell y'all, I'm a bad plant mom. Oh, that's a little bit too thin. I'm a bad plant mom. Um, some of my plants, I'm losing plants out there because of the heat. Um, it's really weird. It's been rainy a lot, but not enough. You know, so it'll rain, it'll pour, and it'll be a whole lot of rain. Um, and the stuff in the ground is fine, but the stuff in containers, we have one day it doesn't rain, everything dries out, just like that. And they all have things, containers, catch cans under them so that they have water. They dry out really fast because when it's hot, it's hot. Like today, it was 92, 93 degrees today. Ooh, lightning bugs. Hey, Jack, how you doing? I haven't seen lightning bugs in a minute. I guess it's been 3 or 4 years ago. There's a camp not too far from here that we have some events there sometimes, and we were out there, and there was lightning bugs out. It was so nice. It was in the fall though. Seems like it was in the fall. Um, you know what? I don't remember if it was fall or summer now. Come to think about it, I was thinking it was in the fall because we had a fire. But we might have had a fire in the summer too. Come to think about it, because there's a big fire ring out there. We always have a pretty big fire. But I was still thinking it's small, but it might have been. I don't remember. But I haven't seen lightning bugs in a minute. Hey, Jamie, how are you? Thanks for coming in, y'all. So, yeah, so I was saying I'm a bad plant mom. Um, Stuff is drying out. I almost lost my apple tree, but I did catch that before it got too bad. And so, whew, goodness gracious. I guess it was summer then, Jack. I don't, like I said, I don't remember, but it's here in Alabama, so I don't know. Um, I just don't know what time of the year it was, but I don't know why I thought it was fall. It's been a long time, that's for sure. So, but it's been a minute since I've seen them. But yeah. But yeah, I've been a bad plant mom. My a lot of stuff. Now my I have two green stalks, and my green stalks have been doing pretty good about keeping them watered on the days that it doesn't rain. 94. Wow. It was hotter in Canada than it was in Alabama. You and Mike are just doing too much. Y'all are doing too much. Yeah. So, but yeah, the one tree is in a container, and I noticed that it was dropping leaves. I was like, "Oh, got to get on top of that." And so, I just need to make sure I water that tree every day. Rain or shine, it has to get watered every day. Um, Otherwise, I'm going to lose it, and I do not want to lose that apple tree. Um, I'm not happy about my apple trees either. I had apples on one of my apple trees, and then it dropped them all. They were babies. They were, babies, and it dropped the apples. I was like, "What? Don't do this. Do not do this." And I was not happy about that. I was hoping I would get some apples on that tree this year. This is the second year it's been in the ground. Um, Planted it last year. And then I have two more in containers that I bought this year. I was not expecting anything on those, so not disappointed in those, but I was expecting them to stay alive. Something was eaten on my blackberries. Um, Not the berries. The berries came and I ate them. They were good, but on the bush itself, my what are they called? Thornless blackberry. She's counting stitches. That's good. But yeah, on my thornless blackberry, oh, I've got a couple stray hairs. There's one right there. Okay, come on. I hate it when this happens because it means that my it won't last as long. When you have a couple strands that I missed. Okay, let's see if I got that. I thought about selling my property, then I thought about my trees. Look, I've been looking at property. I was thinking about um thinking about trying to buy some more property and possibly moving. And I was like, but what about my trees? I will dig these trees up. Y'all don't know. Y'all do not know. Sister will dig these trees up. Oh goodness. You are bald? Okay, Mike. Yeah, well, I'm going. I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. My hair is falling out. And, hey, it is what it is. I'm not sweating it because bald would be easier. I wouldn't be sitting here trying to twist my hair up and get it. looking halfway decent. If I was bald, all I would be doing would be moisturizing my head. But yeah. So let's see. What time we get started? We got started about 11:15. Yeah, it took about. Oh, oh, goodness gracious, that's thin. You know what? I'm just gonna do it in one. I was gonna cut it and break it into two, but it's thin. I'm gonna leave it in one. There you go. Darth X. Hey, Darth X. How are you? Yeah, they say bald is easy. My dad was bald. Loved it. And my uncles. Actually, my dad and all of his brothers. Um, yes, all of his 8 brothers were bald. And loved it. It's so funny. My cousin and I used to race to get to one of my uncles behind his rocking chair. Let me see. Okay, I think I'll do. I'll show you which side. I'll do that side today. Like which side's looking best? Get behind his rocking chair so we could rub his bald head. Loved it. Okay, almost done, y'all. I told you I can do it. It doesn't take me but about 30 minutes to do it, and that doesn't matter how long it is. I mean, even when it was mid back length, it still takes me about 30 minutes to twist it up. I don't know why. 30 to 45 minutes. 45 minutes on the outside if I'm doing smaller ones. Oh, writing and talking about poetry. Nice. I have a book of poems. Yes, a whole book of poems that is formatted, edited, formatted, and all I need to do is do a final cover on it and it's be ready to publish. And it's been sitting at that condition for over a year because I'm too lazy. No, yeah, yeah. Okay. I'll go with lazy. Normally I don't call myself lazy. Normally I just say I'm an efficiency expert. And let that cover it, but I'll go with lazy today. But yeah, I have a whole book of poems. I love to write poems. I used to write a lot. I don't write as much as I used to. I've got I also have 11 novels that I've written. They are not edited though. Only one of them is partially edited. The rest of them are in really rough shape. Um, but yeah, yeah, I have 11. I mean, yeah, 11. Okay, and we're done. Ugh, we have a few stray hairs. That's kind of weird. Okay, and then one last thing. This is aloe and rosemary. Um, I buy the aloe that comes. It's I think it's called denatured or something. Aloe. It's a liquid. It's shelf stable. Um, and then I make a rosemary tea, and I mix that, and that is my finishing and moisturizing spray that I use. And we're done. We are done. So that didn't take long. Um, and I'm glad it's done now. I don't have to worry about it for, you know, a week or so. And I can if I need to, I can wash it with the twist in and it'll stay. Um, so that's good. I used to wear my hair in twist all the time when I was working because it was so much easier um, to deal with. Um, but then I got out of the habit when I had it short, and then I stopped doing anything to it. And it's funny because I would I would wash it and I would leave it and I would let it dry, and then it would get too tangled and I couldn't comb it. And then uh, I would wash it and detangle it, and then I wouldn't do anything to it, and it would get too tangled and I couldn't comb it. And so I would, rinse and repeat. I would do that, and then if I didn't do anything to it, I would just put a headband on it. Just put your headband on it, and it looks like a cute little puff. It was tangled as all get out though, and it's like, ugh. And but yeah, I was wearing a headband or put a scarf on it, put a bandana on it, or tie something around my head, tie it up. Um, but I've gotten to the point that I just can't stand that anymore, and it was driving me crazy. So it's like, okay, fine, do your hair, do your hair, do your hair. Um, when you listen to people recite their poetry, it gets the creative juice. Yes, I have gone to. I was trying to think how many. I think only two poetry readings where I have read my poetry. One of the things that I found out about my poetry is that a lot of it is sad, but it's not sad to me. It's kind of humorous to me. Um, and so it's kind of sick when you read it. Um, I don't know my poems, so I have to read them. So, I don't have them memorized. But when I read them, I'm like reading them and I'm like, oh, that's sad. That is really sad. This is what I'm thinking to myself. And I'm like looking at the group and the people are like sad. And I was like, oh, I need to find one that's not so sad. And then when I look through them, I'm like, most of them are sad. And it's kind of sick that they're like that. But most of them are written out of emotion. So it's pretty weird that it's not weird. It's just that a lot of them were written during times when I was very emotional. But then once I started doing um, like poetry months. Like I think, is it April is poetry month? I think I can't remember. But where I was doing a poem a day. That's when I started writing more humorous stuff, more just light stuff, more airy stuff, more weird. I mean, gardening stuff, flower stuff. I didn't even know what those things. The what do they call it? Acrostic, where you would write a poem based on the letters of a word or something like that. I started playing around with writing when I started doing the poetry months, and that was fun. And so I would usually do two. I do April and I would do July, and I would write a poem a day during those months, and so that was nice. I have to get back to writing poetry. They can be turned into song lyrics. Yes, some of mine are can be lyrics to songs. Yeah. I like poetry that is sad and filled with thanks. I like poetry that is um I like puns. I don't tend to write those, but I do like puns. And I also like poetry that has double meanings. Not just angst, but smashing and breaking things. Woo! That's like one of my favorite songs. One of my favorite songs. It's not a popular song, but it's by an artist called Jaron, and it's called "I'll Pray for You." I love that song. I love that song. Y'all need to look it up. "I'll Pray for You" by Jaron. Um, it's sick. It's sick. It's twisted, It's twisted, but yeah. Not necessarily breaking things, but yeah. It's a breakup song. It's a breakup song. And yeah. When people start to tell me they're going to pray for me, I say, "No, thank you. It's all right. I'm good." Like, I'm good. Obfuscation. Yeah, that part. I also like poems that are that what is it called? I don't even know what the word is called. I have one that it when you read the poem it sounds like it's one thing, but when you get to the end you find out it's something totally different. And it's like that's kind of cool. Where it reveals itself in the end, but it at the beginning it sounds like it's one thing. Yeah, I like that. But I really do like to play around with poetry. But it's funny, sometimes I don't know why are we talking about writing? Yeah, I haven't written in a minute. But yeah, sometimes like I said, I just like to play around with the words. Um it's writing poetry is interesting to me because um the regular rules, the regular way that you would say something, you don't say it in a poem. In a poem, you can say things in different ways, and I like that. I like being able to bend the language to make it um to make it be what you want. I remember I wrote a poem that had honeydew in it, um, but it was honeydew, do, not honeydew, dew. But it was a poem about summertime, so it could have been about honeydew. Melon. It was not, but it could have been. Ay, vey. Y'all, what did you do on the full moon? Did y'all do anything for the full moon? Y'all know I'm all about these moons. So, when I was on the Discord poetry channel, I found a gent who writes poetry just like me. Okay. I have a friend who writes songs. He has written songs every day for the past like 20 years. He writes songs every day, usually 10 a day. He writes songs. I mean, a lot. He's really a prolific writer, but he doesn't do anything with them. I'm like, dude, you have all of these songs. You've done nothing with them. Surely somebody would, um, you would think surely somebody would like, at least a few of your songs. But yeah, I've really never met anybody whose poetry voice was similar to mine. But I hate that there's not more. I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say that there's not more places to do um, poetry readings and things like that around. But maybe there is. Honeydew this, honeydew that, while eating honeydew. Yeah, 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 yeah. I always wanted to put that in a poem, so I did. um, But yeah, I kind of wish that there was something going on, and there may be. It's the thing about Montgomery, um, and I don't know if how your towns are, but one of the things about Montgomery is there's often things that are going on in Montgomery, but they don't advertise nothing, and so if you don't know somebody, you just won't know. Like the one poetry reading that I went to it because a friend of mine is a poet. She's published, and how did I meet her? I don't even know how I met her, but that's kind of weird. Um, but anyway, she was the featured person at that event, and she like invited me on Facebook. And she was like, "Oh, we're having this thing. Why don't you come and bring some of your stuff? Bring some of your poems, read something for us." And I was like, "Huh?" So I'm like, what? What? And then when I went, okay, literally the GPS got me to the building, but the building didn't have a number on it. And it had entrances on four sides. So that means it had entrances on four streets. And I literally would not have been able to get into the building. Oh, hi, Bridget. Did I miss? I'm sorry, but I wouldn't have been able to get into the building. But there was somebody who was outside the door, um, saying, "Hey, are you here for the poetry reading?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Oh, it's in here." And I'm like, "Okay." Like literally, I just parked the car and started walking around the building because it kept telling me, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left. It was going around in a circle, right? But it was never saying park or anything. And so finally, I just parked the car and started walking. And somebody on the sidewalk says, "Oh, are you here for the..." Right. So yeah, I would have never even been able to find the place if there wasn't somebody out there. And the weird thing about it is half the building was under construction, and it was like you got to go up the elevator to the third floor because the first and second floor are under construction, and then you have to walk through construction site to get to. It was crazy to get to it. And but the neat thing about it is the place was it was kind of like it was a studio. It was a studio for artists, and they had rooms set up where artists could do whatever your medium was. You could set up in the room, and you could have like rent that space, like could rent a studio space. You could hang your stuff there, you could work on your stuff there, and then that particular night it was open so they could show their stuff there. And then it also had a stage, and so there was performances and stuff going on. It was like a little hub. I was like, this is a really nice thing. Now, does it exist anymore? I don't know. But it was so weird, finding it and everything was weird. It was like, that is so cool. I was like, man, I should get a studio here because, I do art too. So, anyways, are you headed 1 or 2 days early? I'm headed 1 day early. Scott, we're going 1 day early. We're staying 1 day late, and we're staying at the hotel. I forgot what the name of it is, but we are staying at the hotel the 1 day early. I never thought I could read my poems, but I have. Yeah, I never thought I could either, but I have. I'm trying to remember how many times I have. There is on my website. Oh, yeah, Hotel Max, yeah. Some on Discord have even requested that I have read their poems. Yeah, I used to be a member of a site. I forgot what it was called. Forward Motion for Writers. Forward Motion for Writers. I don't know if it still exists anymore. But that was a really good site because people would review your stuff. It was kind of a reciprocal thing. You can you review something of mine? They would review it and give you critiques on it. You would review theirs, give them critiques on it. I reviewed several people's stuff before they published, and give them critiques on it. And I've had people review my stuff, and so that was really nice to have somebody to read it and give me feedback on it. And so that was really nice. Doing good, Darth. Um, Yeah, at Hotel Max. Yeah, we're staying at Hotel Max. We're coming in 1 day ahead. Um, I still have not talked to the guy, no, the lady. I don't know who it is. I don't even know who it is. I still have not talked to that person. They've not tried to reach me, and I don't even. Anyways, I will do that. I did get something from NCL on our flight information. Ooh, I want an omelet. I'm getting anxious about the trip. Actually, Scott, this is something that I do. It's normal for me, and I'll be all right. But I'm really getting a little bit anxious about the trip. Because it's getting, it's getting close. And I, yeah, my anxiety is kicking in about it, but it'll be all right. It will be all right. I got a weird email from NCL about visa, about something about a visa for Canada, and I was like, what? And so I went to the site. It had me go to was it the State Department? I don't know. It had a link. And I went to the site and I checked on everything, and it was like, no, you don't need a visa. You're fine. Your passport is fine. I was like, yeah, I don't, yeah, it was weird. The only problem with Discord is that most of the people are young. I get uncomfortable when they're young people because I don't want to be a creep. uh, you, Jack. What does being 63 have to do with being a creep? That's what I'm just asking for a friend. I'm just asking for a friend. I'm trying to think on Discord. I'm on Discord. I'm trying to think whose Discord I'm on and what I was on for. I think it might be art related. I don't even remember why I signed up for Discord, but I am on there, but I haven't done any of the writing stuff on Discord. So yeah. And I was trying to think on the writing site that I was on, most of the people were young. Most of the people were younger, but not super young. So, yeah, that was that. Um, when I went to the site and looked and I typed in the stuff, it had a thing that said, "Are you this? Yes. Are you that? No. Are you this? Yes. Are you that? No." And then it says, "You do not need a visa." Now, I could be wrong, but I did go in and yes, yes. With kids under 18, yes. It could be a recipe for disaster. Um, but yeah, that is so weird because there was this group that I was in, and it was adults only. It wasn't the it was a public group, but and there was nothing untoward about it. I mean, it was just a dinner group. We would meet once a month for dinner at a couple of restaurants here in town, but it was for adults only. It's like we don't want no kids to come here. But it's so weird because there was this one girl who came the first time she came, and she went, I'm so glad I'm here. I'm finally old enough. I just turned 18 last week, and I was like, I was like, can we make it 30 and up? And the funny part about it is she was really nice and everything, but it was just so weird. She was younger than my oldest son. My son was 19. She was 18. They were both at the same school. I was like, I don't mind hanging out with my kids, but sometimes I want to hang out with adults, you know? But yeah. But yeah, those are spaces that, Discord is one of those spaces though that it just depends on the group, I think, and what it's about. Um I think for a writing group, it should be fine. I'm gonna go try to go to sleep. I'll be listening. Okay, Scott. I will definitely look into that whole visa thing to make sure that we're good. I don't I guess If we're not good, I guess I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I'm not gonna worry about it. See, this is what I'm talking about. There was no problem whatsoever. And then now there's a problem. So yeah. Let me ask let me ask the the AI. Can we ask the AI? If you are a U.S. citizen with a valid U.S. passport, you do not need a visa to travel to Canada on a cruise. For tourism or vacation purposes on a cruise, a visa is not required for U.S. citizens entering Canada. Uh-oh. If your cruise begins and ends at the same U.S. port, you may also be allowed to use other documents such as state-issued birth certificate plus a government ID, but a passport is recommended for the smoothest experience to handle unexpected changes. Okay, I have to look and see what the source is. This source is, I don't know. Okay, hold on. Canada, what is this? This source is the Government of Canada entry requirements by country or territory. Okay. And this source is, it's got three different sources. Um, Cruise Critic. I don't care that one. Okay, we don't listen to Reddit. Let me let me say eliminate Reddit sources. Okay, this is the sources. Cruise Canada, Cruise Critic, Travel, Travel Authorization. What is this? State Department.gov and oh yeah, government. Okay, so that's the site. Okay. Anyways. Why would you want to travel to Canada? I'm calling Jane this week. I think you're good. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get in touch with Jane this week as well. I think it's fine for women to be around kids, but men cannot do that. I think it's fine for men and women to be around kids as long as they are behaving themselves. But you just got to protect yourself. I think men have to be more careful to protect themselves because you can't recover from a false accusation. Even if it's false and it's proven false, it's hard to recover from it. So, yeah, just protect yourself. I watch many Canadian YouTube channels. It ain't good up there. Wait a minute, Scott lives up there. I think he thinks it's good up there. I'm going on a cruise, and one of the stops is Victoria. I don't even know where I'm going. Look, I don't know where I'm going. One of the stops, I'm going on an Alaska cruise, and one of the stops is in Canada. Um, so I need to make sure I have the right paperwork um, for the cruise because we wouldn't want to have problems. And so I did get an email from, I got an email from NCL, Norwegian Cruise Line, about the possibility of needing a visa. Um, but when I went to Canadian government website to see if I needed a visa. It had a little kind of tree thing questionnaire that you fill out, and it said I didn't need one. So I should probably ask the AI the same question differently. I'm still learning how to use AI, and I know that there's certain things that you can there's certain ways that you can ask questions um, that allows you to eliminate. I disagree. I love my kids. I've coached youth for 33 years. Yeah. No, I just think that I think that adults can be around kids. But that, you just have to know how to be around kids. Um, and you just have to be careful and protect yourself because yeah. When my kids were growing up, I have two boys. When my kids were growing up, we had rules. We don't go behind fences and we don't go behind doors. They they are allowed to play with all the kids in the neighborhood as long as they're in the front yard. Because I want all of the eyes on the kids, all of the eyes in every house on the kids. But when you go behind fences, there's no eyes on the kids, and so no, they could go in my backyard because I got cameras back there because we have cameras on the kids. But yeah, no, my kids still till this day they're like, no behind fences and no behind doors, Mama. I got it. I got it. And if there's no adult outside, then they're not outside. Because we talked about it's so funny. We talked about it. My kid didn't show up for after school one day. He was on the campus, but he didn't show up for aftercare one day. And so when I went to pick him up, the lady said, "Oh, he's not here." And I was like, "You didn't call me." And she was like, "Well," and I was like, "No, well about it. If he doesn't show up within 5 minutes, you call me because I'm like 10 minutes away, literally one exit up. And if he doesn't show up, then I need to know ASAP because I need to find him. I got to put eyes on him wherever he is." And when we had that conversation with my son, I was like, um, you do realize that within 3 hours, you could be out of the country just that fast. You could be out of the country. And so by the time you get out of school at 2:30 and the time I get off of work at 5:30, you could be out of the country. I need you to be where you're supposed to be. Be truthful to this question. A babysitter who is a man or a woman, which would you choose? It depends. It depends. Like I said, I have boys. But let me just tell you, Jack. uh, let me just tell you. My kids, when they were little, we had one babysitter. We had one babysitter. And she was a teenager from my church who was the youngest child of 7 or 8. And all of her brothers and sisters were um, older. So she was like, her parents married later, and that was they had a child together. But the mom had several kids before she married that husband, and all of her kids were older. So she had like 20 some nieces and nephews. That was my son's babysitter, only babysitter. And I never left my son with her. She went with us. If I needed a babysitter, I would pick her up, I would take her with me, and then I would have her set up in an adjacent room with us. Because that's just That was me. I'm one of those moms. I'm a helicopter mom. I'm a hovering mom. I'm an overprotective mom. I'm a mama bear mom. That was me. And so that was the only babysitter I ever used. My kids never had sleepovers. They never stayed with family. Yeah, they didn't even stay with family. It's like my sister, my niece was like, "When you gonna let the boys come?" My brother-in-law, "When you gonna let the boys come and spend the summer?" Never. That part. Never. I'm not. When we'll all come together as a family, but no, I'm not. You gonna leave the boys? Nope. That's just me. And it's not that I have anxiety. That's why it's that I have anxiety. But the reason I say it depends is because my brother, I have twin brothers. One of my brothers, my kids could have stayed with them at any time. He could have stayed with him. The other brother, my kids could not stay there. My kids cannot even stay in his house with me in this house. So that part. But it's just because he's just not good around kids. But I understand what you're saying. And I understand. I mean, I totally understand. Um, I get it. But on the same side of that, my kids played sports. All of their coaches were men. Um, and as they got older, well, I'll take that back because when my son played travel, when he played AAU basketball, his coach was a woman. Um, but my other son, all of his coaches were men. He played baseball, he played football. All of his coaches were men. Um, and now, did I leave him with them? Nope, did not leave him with them. If they were there, wherever my kids were, that's where I was. If I couldn't be there, my husband couldn't be there, then my kids weren't there either. I remember my husband dropped my son off to baseball practice one day, and he was like, "I'm gonna run up to the store," and I was like, "What?" It's like, what? He was like, he's gonna be at practice with all the other kids and the coaches, and I'm like, hold on a second, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. He's like, what? I'm like, I'll be up there. Just give me 5 minutes to get up there. He's like, I'm just going to the store. I'm like, just give me 5 minutes. Yeah, anxiety, y'all. For some reason, I actually babysit when I was in junior high. Yeah. My son is good with kids. My oldest son, he is so good with kids. I tell the story all the time about him playing Frozen with one of the little girls at baseball. We would go to baseball practice. Both my boys play baseball, and so when we were at the games, if they didn't both have games, sometimes they both had games at the same time. So we, split the difference. But if one of them had a game and the other one didn't, we were all there. We always went as a family. And there was one of the little sisters who was there and at one of the games, and she wanted to play, and she was like, "Can Austin play with me?" And I was like, "If Austin wants to play with you, he can play with you." And so he's like, "Yeah, I'll play with her." He sat there and he played for like 2 hours with this little girl. He played Frozen with her, and she had all her little characters and her little things, and I don't know what he was doing, but he was playing that game with that little. He is so good with kids, and eventually I was like, Austin needs a timeout, baby. She was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, he needs a timeout." And so I had to give him a timeout so that he could have a break. But he did a really good job playing with her. And then one of the little brothers say one of the kids that was on my son's baseball team had a little brother who was having trouble with some skill. It was baseball with some skill. And Austin was like, I'll help you. And he took him over to a field and they got the balls out and he was showing them that you have to do it like this. And I don't remember whether he was pitching or catching or I don't even know what the skill was. But but yeah, he's really good with kids. And he's always been, but he's that kid. I've always called him an ambassador because he's one of those people. He's very unassuming. If you see him, he's just doing his own thing. But if he's interested in what you're doing or if he wants to interact with you, he'll go, "Can I try?" And invariably you'll say yes, and then he does it. And if you've never been to Canada, I'd stop spreading someone's agenda. LOL. I've been to Canada once. I don't remember where I was because, oh, I remember I was at Glacier National Park and I went to the Canadian side. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't think I had a passport at the time. I think I just was driving. And so I just drove across the line. But yeah, I've been there once. And I drove into whatever the town is there. I went to Dairy Queen and I got ice cream because I was there. It's like, you might as well go. So yeah. I will always be suspicious of a man who was great with kids. It's just the lay of the land. Well, I'm not suspicious of my kid, but he is really good with kids. Although that's not what he wants to do. He's pre-med, so I'm not sure exactly what part of the medical field he's going in, but he definitely is in the medical field. Oh, I've been to Canada many times. I tell you what, um, yeah, no, I'm not gonna say that. Um, um, one place in Canada that I want to go, and I know I'm never gonna go, but I want to go to, is it Yellowknife? Because I have a friend who used to live there, and but she doesn't live there anymore. But she used to live there, and the Ice Road Trucker Show was there, and I thought, man, I want to go, but it's one of those weird places how you can't get there from here, kind of. It's like in the summertime you have to take the ferry, and in the wintertime you have to take the ice road, but but part of the time you can't get there either way because the ferry doesn't run because it's too icy, or the road you can't drive the road because it's not icy enough. Yeah. I guess you could fly in. But yeah, that's one place I wanted to go. Yeah, he's finishing up his undergraduate. I think in December he finishes, and then he's gonna figure out where he wants to go next. I think he might do physician's assistant rather than go to medical school. Um, but I'm not sure exactly what he's gonna do. But you know, he's got time. He's got time. What part of Canada? Each region is different. Yeah, I want to go to um I don't know where I want to go. I want to go to Montreal. I think that's where I want to go. Montreal. I think. I don't know. I I kind of want, what I really want to do is go and ride the train. Yeah, do the train thing. But I also want to go over to where what's his name lives over y'all, my brain is working. East, north. East. My brain is not working. No, I don't know what the name of the place is. Newfoundland. That place. Newfoundland. That place. Montreal is 2 hours from you. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm not sure, Jack. If I think he's looking into PA school. I don't know, but anyway, I might have a distant relative in Montreal. I don't know that I have any relatives in Canada, which is pretty amazing because my family is so huge. Um, Medical school is grueling, but it has its rewards. Yeah, Montreal is 2 hours for me. Yeah. I think that's where I want to go. I don't know where I really want to go, honestly. Winnipeg is a murder capital. Look, uh, I live in a Merc here, Montgomery. I live in a Merc. It is crazy the number of Mercs that we have here in Montgomery. You would think, I don't know, it's just crazy. Um, there was in my neighborhood just the other day. People were on, the next door site going, does anybody know what was happening? There were four cars, da 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 da. I heard this, that, and the other, and it was like, anyways, it is what it is. It is what it is. And there have been a couple here in the neighborhood that we know about. And one of them was kind of crazy because it was, um, you know how somebody does something at work, they make you mad, and then you show up at their house. That was kind of the deal. Somebody did something at work, made somebody mad. They showed up at their house. The person they showed up for wasn't there, but their kid was there. And yeah, it was crazy. So, but yeah, Montgomery is one of those places. And it was, and the weird thing about it is, um, it's like in the interest of the subdivision that I live in, it was like one of the houses in the interest. So like you drive into the subdivision and one of the first five houses, it was one of those houses. And it was like you would think that somebody would have seen something or heard something or whatever because people are driving past there all the time. You can't get in here with, there's two entrances, but literally I would say 80% of the people come in that way. So you would think that somebody would have seen something, whatever. Anyway, they got the guy. They got the guy, whatever. But the kid's gone. So there's that. And it was like, really, really, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that is one of the things that I do live with on a daily basis. You should do the cruise from Quebec to Newfoundland. Is a cruise? There's a cruise? I don't know. I don't know about cruising. That's interesting. Newfoundland, um, Quebec to Newfoundland. Huh. I'll have to look into that. It's so funny. There are things that I had on my list of places I wanted to go and things I wanted to see. Going to Glacier National Park was one of them. And so when I did Glacier, it's like, well, I'm gonna go. I want to go in the park, and I want to go on both sides. I want to go on the Canada side, and I want to go on the U.S. side of the park. And so I did that, and that was like kind of cool. Um, if I was young, I had a yearling or yearning to be a doctor, I would choose GI as my specialist. GI doctors are allowed to be ornery all the time. That's funny. That's the cruise I should do. Yeah. Very reasonable. I have to look into it. I definitely have to look into it. Let's see. I have to admit though, I really want to do Greece. I know Greece has nothing to do with Canada, but I really want to do Greece. So the thing I wanted to do in Canada is I want to do the train. And so I thought about doing the train. Going to Canada, hit the train, ride the train, do the train. Because we don't have a train like that here, you know? But I want to do that. And then I want to do Greece for sure. Um, and I'm like I said, I'm not sure that, I'll be able to do that, but yeah. It would be nice. Definitely would be nice. GT Junior, are you still in the background? Are you working? What are you doing? I've been to Greece. You have? I want to go. We are the same. We have no, not Amtrak, Jack. No, not Amtrak. It's not Amtrak. It's not Amtrak. That's too funny. That's one of the things I enjoyed about when we were in when my sister and I went to Germany a couple of years ago, a few years ago, and one of the things I really enjoyed is that we got a pass for the trains for all of the trains. We were in Berlin. We got a pass for all of the trains, and so I really liked. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they're called, but there was this one set of trains that was they were bigger, they were sleeker, they were more they weren't your everyday subway. They were different. And because we had a pass for everything, we could ride those too. And so we would when they we would get there was my brother was in hospice, and so we were going every day. We were going from where we were staying to the hospice and back. And every now and then we would go say, okay, we're not gonna ride the regular train today. We're gonna ride the train. And we would get on it, and the seats, they hugged you, and it was quiet. It was it was faster. It was really nice. And it's so funny because, you couldn't always get it. I mean, just the timing was not there. But when the timing was right and you could get that one, it was like, yes, we were going to ride the train. There was just so much, it was just so nice being there. But that was one of the things we did. Now I would say if you ever decide to go to Berlin, and I'm not going to say any place else because that's the only place in Germany that I've been is Berlin. But if you ever decide to go to Berlin and you stay, we were there for 21 days. We got the month pass for all of the trains, for all of the transportation, public transportation. And so we had a pass for everything. We could ride buses, trains, trolleys, subways, um, the whole nine. Everything that was public transportation, we could ride, and so we could get anywhere in the city, and it was so easy. All you had to do was put it in your phone and put on the Google Maps and put in public transportation, and it would just tell you you could go this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one, this one, this one, and it would have every stop listed, every start and stop, everything on there. It was so simple and so easy. And when you walked into the train station, it would have the name of the station so you could verify you were in the right place, that you were on the right platform, that you were getting on everything was right there in the just Google Maps. It wasn't even a special app, just in Google Maps. And so it was really nice. Um, so yeah, it was definitely worth it to get that month pass for all of the public transportation. I enjoyed my sister. In fact, If I said to my sister, let's go back to Germany, she probably would say, yes. When we had such a good time. And I mean, it was a bad situation, but we had a good time. Um, and you would think that it would be stressful because neither one of us spoke German. We don't speak German. We were both doing, you know, trying to learn enough to get by, but it was okay. It just was okay. We were able to do whatever we want. If you ever go to Greece, avoid Athens, as it will be a letdown. The country of Greece is breathtaking. I don't want to go to Athens. I really just want to go to like a small village or a small town. Um, I want to go to like a small town in Greece. I want to stay like 2 or 3 weeks. Hey, Lisa, thanks for coming in. I want to stay like 2 or 3 weeks. And I just want to chill there, stay. I mean, like do an Airbnb or something like that, or stay in a home. I don't want a hotel. I want to just stay in a home, um, someplace, and just kind of chill in a little village in Greece. That's all I want. That's it. That's it. I don't want nothing special. I don't want no big touristy things or anything. I want to be near the water. I want to be able to eat seafood every day. I want to be able to walk, on streets that are older than, um, that are hundreds of years old, thousands of years old. I want to walk down, old streets, and yeah, that part. Santorini is so it's so touristy now, isn't it? I don't want touristy. I just want a little village. Santorini is, I mean, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I would love to go there for a day. But what I want to do is just stay in a village. Really, literally a village by the sea. And I want to eat olives and drink wine. And I want to have seafood every day. And I want to be able to walk by the water. I want to be able to go swimming if I want to go swimming. And that part. So, and yeah, I don't really, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. I'm gonna have to go and talk to. The only problem is that the Parthenon is in Athens. I suppose it's worth going to Athens with. I don't want. I'm not interested in that. I'm just not interested in. I'm not there for the historic stuff. I'm not into that kind of stuff. I'm really into more of everyday life. Hey, David Corey, how are you? What did you do with that Kusha squash? That's what I want to know. What did you do with that Kusha squash? That giant Kusha squash. It ain't even food when it gets that big. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is when it gets that big. Anchorage conditions are rain. Rain shower with a temperature of 57 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the southeast at 4 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 74%. How is it 74% humidity and it's raining? Explain that to me. Oh, showers. They did say showers. So it might not be raining. Okay, that part. I was wondering what happened to you, GC Junior. Are you working? What are you working on? Conditions for Naimo. I can't say that word. Conditions are clear with a temperature of 71 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is blowing from the west at 8 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 62%. It's sitting there. Why isn't it food when it gets that big? Pumpkins get big. I'm just saying, when it gets that big, it's not really food. I'm just saying. What? Wait a minute. What does Nikki say? Young and tender. We like it young and tender. Are you sure? I'm sure. I'm sure. I don't want to see. I don't need. Okay, first of all, what am I gonna go see? What is at the Parthenon? The nun. Parthenon. What is there? What am I gonna see? Okay, so I had one that was 9 pounds last year. Um, and you know what I did? Not eat it. I did not eat it. I ate the smaller ones, but I did not eat that one. And then I decided I wasn't gonna grow them anymore. Oh gosh, that's the size I get. Well, I just want to know what you're gonna do with it. You just gotta sit in there. You just gotta sit in there. It won't get ripe until a certain time. That is true. That is true, but yeah. And I think, maybe if I hey J3GS, how you doing? Maybe if I let them grow bigger than that and they got ripe, I would have liked it better, but I didn't care for it that much. They're just like watermelons. They're not just like watermelons. Watermelons are good. They are not. No, it makes I was just wondering what you're gonna do with it. I ended up making pumpkin bread out of mine, and that was good. I enjoyed them that way. And if I grow them again, that's what I'll do again. I will roast them, I will freeze them, and then I will use it for pumpkin bread. Um, Even though they're not pumpkins, I would use it for pumpkin bread because that was good. And I love pumpkin bread, but otherwise, I didn't like it. I had it roasted, didn't like it. I had it sauteed, I didn't like it. And it's like, okay, yeah, what are we gonna do? Uh, okay, I don't know what that word is. Hop lights. I don't know what that word is. So that part. He says that's the size they get. The Parthenon, Perseus. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's water in the garden. It's raining. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I got to get in my garden. I got to get in there and I need a torch. I know I sound like TT now. I need a torch because the weeds are out of control. And I can't find my candy roaster. I know I planted candy roaster. I can't find them. I don't know where they are. But the weeds are out there. I'm afraid. Y'all. I'm afraid to go in my garden because the weeds are so bad. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I shouldn't have said that out loud, but it's true. It is very true. I need to make a video. Y'all, I made a video last week. And I put it for members only. So yeah, I don't know if I'm ever gonna show it to the public. I'm going to do I'm about to get a that's what I'm about to get is a propane. I need a torch. A flamethrower. Did you see? It's been a couple of years ago. It's been about 5 or longer. It's been actually longer, about probably 10 years ago, where they had this a drone that had a torch on it, and they were flying the drone out, and they were using it. Oh crap! Y'all see that? Fireworks. They were using the drone to roast the turkey in the forest. Like they had the turkey on a spit in the forest, and they were using the torch on the on the drone to cook the turkey. That was crazy. But anyways, yeah, I thought Edo's small taro I planted were dead, but I got two popping up. Oh, nice. I am gonna go to the international market and buy some Edo and try them before I grow them. Parthenon. I prefer the Pantheon. Okay, whatever. Edo's our root crop. I have so many growing in my yard. Yeah, I don't know how to deal with them. How do you eat them? How do you cook them? How do you eat them? So yeah, I'm gonna go to the market and get some and see how to cook them and eat them and see if I care for them. And if I care for them, if I like them, then I'll plant some. But if not, yeah. So only thing that I know for sure that I have growing. That's not true. Let me stop lying. Let me tell the whole truth. One thing for sure that I know that I have growing out there is sweet potatoes. And I have three different kinds. I have the purple ones, the white ones, and the yellow ones. Now, whether they producing anything, I don't know, but they have leaves. They do have leaves, and I'm going to go out there and harvest some leaves because I want some of the leaves. I'm going to harvest some of the leaves out there. Whether they're producing any roots, I don't know. But yeah, I do def- definitely have some sweet potatoes growing out there, and that's the only thing. That's one of the few things. No, that and that peas. I got cow peas, y'all. If look, I'm gonna say it again. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. To, cow peas, pink eye, purple hull peas, black eye peas, lady cream peas, whatever. Peas, cow peas are a survival food. You plant it once, you will always have it. Am I lying? Does anybody else grow them? I have so many of them. I have so many. Do you have pink eye purple hull, Mike? Do you have the top? I got my neighbor gave me some top pick pink eye purple hull peas. Top pick is what they're called. Evidently, they don't vine. They produce the beans on the top of them. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah. Oh, they're annual. They're annual, Mike. Here. But when they if you let them stay on the vines until they dry, they will drop peas on the ground, and the next year those will come up. They will come up. I just made a video planting purple. Cow peas will be forever yours. That's true. Um, Lots of varieties of cow peas. I gotta try. If you need seeds, Darthex, let me know. I have Lady Cream. I have Pink Eye Purple Hull, and then I have the Pink Eye Purple Hull top pick. Um, and I can get more of those. My neighbor got a bag, a little paper bag like this from the feed store. So she has millions of them, and she gave me a handful, and you don't need many, honestly. You don't need many. But yeah, I just made a video planting purple hull. Yeah, perennial. They're not perennial. Perennial is the plant lives. Perennial means the plant continues to live year after year. They're not. The plant dies back. But what happens is when the peas fall on the ground, they will stay dormant on the ground until the next growing season, and then they will sprout again. So, yeah, they are an annual, but they will sprout. For here, they will they will come up from seeds on the ground. And so when you start pulling them out, if you drop any on the ground, I'm telling you, I have them growing in my grass. They come up in my grass. The lawn guy mows them down every week. They come up in the beds. I transplant them from the grass to the beds. Um, they come everywhere, everywhere. It's definitely a survival food. If something happens in the world and you can't get food, there will be pink eye purple hulls, there will be lady crumb peas, there will be cow peas. When I was in high school, I vowed to myself that I would see the Parthenon, the Pantheon, and the Cathedral of Chartres. I can't say it. Chartres. I saw them all. Since then, I have no goals. I would like to see the Cathedral of, was it Chartres? I can't say the word because my French is not that good. But I would like to see that. Um, there's another thing that I want to see. That's not it. There's another thing in Paris that I want to see. Um, and I don't even know the name of it. Um, I read about it in a book, in a trashy novel, and I went, "Ooh, I want to see that. I want to see that." But I'm done with Paris, so I'll never see it. I was listening it up on the difference between the perennial and the annual. Yes. But yeah, no, not the Louvre. It's a little, it's a small um chapel, and I think it's like mostly steel and glass, and it looks like it's glass suspended, but I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up and see what the name of it is. Like I said, it was in a trashy novel I was reading called Strawberries for Breakfast. No, not no. It's not none of the big things. It's not none of the big things. Um, the thing of it is the in the book the guy was going to Paris for a wedding. I think it was a wedding, and he went to a used bookstore and bought an old travel guide. And his friend was like, "Why would you buy that? That thing is old. Like, it's 20 years old. It's not gonna see." He was like, "All the good stuff is still there." you know? Right. It's like all the good stuff is still there. It was there 20 years ago, it was there 50 years ago, the good stuff. So it's not like the book is, even though the book is outdated, all the good stuff is still there. And in that old travel guide, there was this thing about this little thing. Glass pyramid is a Louvre, but it's not a pyramid. It's not a pyramid. I don't think it's the Louvre. Anyways, now y'all gonna make me look it up. I think the name of that book was Strawberries for Breakfast. Um, but I could be wrong about that. It's a trashy novel. So if y'all look it up and you go, dang, why Felicia reading these trashy novels? I told you it was a trashy novel. Oh, my fingers. Nope, that ain't it. That ain't it. Okay, so that's not it. Anyways, I'll look it up at some point, and maybe I'll put my favorite spot in Paris was the Rue de Rivoli, Rue de Rivoli. Okay. He's like, Google it. I don't remember what the name of the book is. And y'all, you are something else. Let me see here. Who was it by? I don't think it's by Combs. Nope. Nope. That's not the name of it. I don't remember who it's by. I don't remember who. I don't know. I don't remember anything about it. You know what? I'm just dreaming. No, it's not by that's not that. Who is it by? It's by Coda. Anyways, I can't remember. No, no. Yeah, it's not. This is not the. Oh, yeah, that's who it is. Sex. Yeah, I should buy a new book. Strawberries for dessert? Oh no, that's not the name of it. That's not the. That's not. That's not the book. The book is. I don't remember. Rome was probably my favorite city. Wow. Maybe that might be it, Mike. Paris from A to Z. That's the name of the book. Paris from A to Z. And there was a, I think the name of the travel guide was that. But anyways, I have to look it up and see because I can't remember where. It's a sad. It's a sick book. It's a sick book. And the grant, I think I don't know what it is, but anyways, the whole premise was he got a used from the used bookstore. He got a travel guide called Paris from A to Z, and in it had this chapel, and it was a chapel, and that SPQR. What's SPQR? Y'all, you're making my brain work, and it hurts. Ouch. Um, I hate it when they do that. You know what? I hate it when they do SPQR. Okay. When they when they put pictures of the characters on a book, it makes me mad because I like to imagine in my own head what they look like. I mean, even though the author would tell you Senate and the people of Rome. Okay. Okay. Even if they tell you what the people look like in the book, I like to imagine in my own mind what they look like. And so then when they show the picture when they put a photograph with the picture. Although I have to admit, there are certain characters that it's like, yes, 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 they did it, they got it right. But for the most part, when they show the picture of the person versus what I imagine in my head, they looked so much better. And it's like, this does not do them justice. It's like, this does not do them and it's not the face, because I don't ever imagine faces. I don't do faces. It's just like, it's more of the presence of the person. Rome was very, very cruel, and they built things that had chaos as military. No. Where? What? Hold on. What was the name of the chapel that John took? What was his name? I can't remember his name. What was his name? Y'all, I need to stop. What was the name of the chapel that John visited in Paris, Medici? By Okay. Anyways, I'll find it and I'll let y'all know. Rome was very, very cruel. Rome and the Romans perfected form and function as an art form. Okay. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. I mean, I do because I read. What I mean, I paid attention. Things you should have learned in school had you paid attention. I did pay attention in school, and I learned stuff, but I put it out of my mind as soon as school was over because hey, school was over, right? And yeah, you put it out of your mind. Is this 50 Shades of No? First of all, it's not 50 Shades of Grey. It's just a place in Paris that was in a book that was a trashy book, but it was not 50 Shades of Grey. Um, um, because 50 Shades of Grey was a trash. Was not, no, 50 Shades of Grey was not a trashy novel. 50 Shades of Grey was trash. Um, I'm not taking Tylenol. Why do I have Tylenol in front of me? I'm not taking Tylenol. Um, I did read it, by the way. I read 50 Shades of Grey. Actually, I read 50 Shades. This is a funny factoid about me. I read 50 Shades of Grey out loud to a friend of mine. Did you read a naughty book? Yeah, I mean, 50 Shades of Grey is not a naughty book, it's trash. So there's that. It's not even a naughty book. It's a bad book. It's a bad novel. But you know what was really good? Okay, y'all. There was a fanfic of 50 Shades of Grey. I don't even know what the name of it was. It was online. A lady did a fanfic of it and she did it chapter by chapter and It was like if 50 Shades of Grey had been written well, what it would be like. Oh, it was good. And not only that, she did it. She not only did she write it and write it well, it was so good. It was so good. It was like when you read that, you were like, "Oh wow, this is trash. This is trash." But then you read the fanfic of it. It was like, man, she should have published this because it was so good. But not only that, she did it from different perspectives. And I don't know if you guys have read 50 Shades of Grey or if you know anything about 50 Shades of Grey, but she did it from different perspectives. So part of it she would do it from Christian's perspective, and part of it she would do it from whatever her name's perspective was. I can't even remember her name because it was just that not significant to me. But there was one scene where she wrote it from Christian's mom's perspective that was kick butt. It was the bomb. Good night, Dar. Thanks for being here. Thanks for it was fun. Thank you so much for being here. But anyways, it was the bomb. She wrote that. I was like, ooh, that's right. It was like, you did what? You did who? You did what? Yeah. It was so good. And the funny thing about it is back then, I mean, it was a long time. That was a long time ago when that book first came out. But when the fanfic came out, it was she did. I don't even know what her name was. All I'm saying is that the person who did that could really write. And it's the funny part about 50 Shades is the lady who wrote the book. Well, wait a minute. 50 Shades of Grey was a fanfic written about. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. Twilight. Twilight. It was about Twilight. It was what if the characters in Twilight, the main characters in Twilight, were in this situation? Let's write a book about it. That's what it was. And it was horrible. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's horrible. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was written well. I think it had a bad perspective and all of that. And but then again, like I said, it was a novel. No one was hurt. No real humans were hurt in the writing of the novel. It was just a novel. And I have to remind myself of that, otherwise I get mad about it. But how did that break? Um but back then people were doing fanfics about stuff and they would just publish it online. And now they probably would get sued or get a cease and desist or something else like that. What? You found it in a library? Oh, that was in college though. Yeah, yeah, I could see it being in college. Yeah. But yeah. But I enjoyed reading the fanfic. It was nice. Um, Give me a second, guys. I need to. Yeah, I'm still here. All right, and I'm back. But yeah, I'll read it. I will read anything when it comes to books. But and I'm just now learning to um what am I saying? I'm just now learning to put a book down and not finish it, even if I don't like it. And it's so funny because a lot of times I'll read a book and I'm like, for example, Game of Thrones. I think I read, I don't know how many books are in that series, but I think I read like four of them before I went, oh, I don't even like this. Why am I reading it? Yeah, I read a little bit about, I read a little, I think I've read a little bit of Marquise de Sade. Oh, I can't say these words. I think I read some of that when I read some of that when I was in high school. Yep, high school. But my one of my brothers had it on his shelf, and I liberated it from his shelf for a while. And yeah, that part. That's one of the things I have to say about my family. I was never restricted in what I could read. If there was a book in the house, I was allowed to read it. And if there was a book in the library, I was allowed to read it. I had library cards in three different counties. Um, and my mom allowed me to read books, any book that I wanted to read, I was allowed to read. So I read some books at a very young age that I probably should have never read, like Jacqueline Suzanne, Valley of the Dolls. I was probably 10 or 12 when I read that. Yeah, probably shouldn't have read that um, at that age. But hey, I mean, it's pretty tame now. Um, there are lots of stuff that you can find online, videos and stuff like that now that are not near as that aren't, that are way you know that's pretty tame compared. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I was way too young to be reading that. Way too young, but it was in the house. It was in the house, and so I read books that were in the house. I read, um, and there was lots of stuff in the house that I read. Yeah, lots of stuff. My mom's books, my dad's books. I found my dad's stash of trashy novels. I read all of them. Yep, sure did. Um, my brother's books, my sister's. I was the youngest of five. I read all of it. And I read a lot. I read like every single day. I mean, I'm still that person now. Who I don't even know. Let me look and see. I don't know what my book count is for. Let's see what my book count is for this year. Let's see. Hey, I've read more than that. Surely I've read more than that. Hold on a second. Reading insights. Past challenges and goals. Challenge details. Well, I will. This is this month or this year? Hold on a second. I've only read 39 books this year. That's not good. Yeah, I've only read 39. Previous challenges. Oh no, wait a minute. Hold on. New Year challenge. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, that part. I've only read 39 books this year. Um, that's in Kindle. That's Kindle books. That doesn't count hardback books, um, which I read. Do you know the book, Jack? Do you know Valley of the Dolls? She wrote, Jacqueline Suzanne wrote that one, and she also wrote Once Is Not Enough. I read that one as well. Um, about the same year, same time. And don't get me wrong, I was reading Nancy Drew at the same time. I mean, I was reading age appropriate books at the same time, but it's just um when I didn't I had books by mail. The library in the county seat had a books by mail situation where you could order books. You would fill out a little postcard, you send it in, and they would send you the books, and then you would send them back and you would order more. My entire adult material was in Piggy Wiggy grocery store. I was in fourth grade and read the True Detective magazines. Yeah. So yeah. I read age appropriate books from the library, but I also read when I was in high school. I worked in the library, and so I just started reading from A, and I just read the fiction section of the library. Um, Dog just kept reading until school was out. I never saw the movie. I only read the book, but you know what it's about. Yeah, yeah, it's about rugs, um, and the industry, the I guess the movie industry, the movie I guess was a movie modeling, something like that, and all the rugs in there. So yeah, but yeah, it probably is not appropriate reading for a 10, 11, 12 year old. I don't know how old I was, but around that age. Um, but yeah, that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I had the books by mail. And so I got those, and those were age appropriate because they wouldn't send books to a kid that was not age appropriate. But then I had library cards, and the library card, they would let you check out anything with the library card. And so, I just go. If I want to learn something new, I just go and get the book and read that. And then, yeah, that part. And then, like I said, books that were in the house. Um, I only have two bookshelves now. I used to have three additional bookshelves, but my husband inherited those. So yeah. When my husband moved to his house, my husband, oh yeah, I probably told y'all before. My husband lives about 5 miles up the road. He has another house, but he inherited some of the bookshelves, and so he got the bookshelves. He didn't get the books. He got the bookshelves. The books are mine. So I have two bookshelves now that are full. And it's funny because I did actually pack up boxes of books, and there's one thrift store here that will take books. And I called them up and I was like, "You guys take books?" And they're like, "Yeah, we take books." And he's like, "But we don't take a lot. So how many you got?" And I was like, Maybe a box or two." And he was like, "Okay, we'll take that." I was like, "Okay." So I sent two boxes of books over there. So that was probably one bookshelf full um, over there. Um, but Goodwill doesn't take books, and the library doesn't really take books. Um, they're always getting rid of books, and so yeah, that part. Um, but yeah, I still have a couple of boxes of books in the garage that I need to get rid of, and yeah. The funny thing about it is, I will reread books. I don't mind rereading books. I like reading new books, but I can't afford to read new books all the time. There was a time when you could go when there was used bookstores that were readily available, and you could get books for on the cheap. But now books are expensive, and it's like I will read the library. And I mean, when I say I will read the library, I will read the library. I just go in there and systematically read from A to Z uh, by author and just keep going. If I find an author that I like, I'll read all of their books and keep going. That part. I prefer authors who are no longer with us because I was reading, what's it? I think it was Octavia Butler, and I was in the middle of it. She was in the middle of a series when she passed, and I was like, I was hurt. I'm like, this will never be finished. I will never know the end. You know, it's like that tore me up. It was kind of the same thing about um going to estate sales. I don't like to go to estate sales where the person is still with us. If they're still here, it's like, I don't want to go to a estate sale because it's sad. It's so sad when you go to a estate sale and like the person, so like if somebody, they're moving them out of their house and they're moving them into like a smaller, like a condo, or they're moving them to a home or something like that, and they're selling off their stuff. And it's like so sad. I feel sad about that. I'm like, I can't just go. I can't go to an estate sale like that. This is crazy. So so it's like, I want there to have been a funeral. And so then it's like, y'all just, yeah, these are just unthankful kids who selling their parents stuff to get some money. I'm okay with that. My sister read romance novels in junior high school and never understood why. I never. One day I read one of her books and whoa, I understood. Oh, okay. Let me just tell you, I like to read things that are so far away from what could ever happen to me in real life that it's an escape. So, like, I don't want to read a story about. I don't want to read a story about a 62-year-old mom of college kids who lives in Montgomery, Alabama. I just don't. That's my life. Why would I want to read that? I want to read a story about somebody who's different than me. Different than me. So I don't want to read a story about a woman. I want to read a story about a man. I don't want to read a story about a man married to a woman. I don't want to know. I want to read a story about a man in outer space that's married to an alien. You know what I'm saying? I just this is my reality. I don't want to read um books that are my reality. I want to read something that's outside of that so it can be an escape for me. I don't need to read about me. I'm living that every single day. Romance novels are already, some of them are, and I used to read them when I loved them when I was in high school. I loved romance, historical romance. I loved historical romance. I was still reading stuff about nothing, that stuff that could not happen to me. So I was reading stuff, back in the day, you know, in Europe, in England, in, those back in the day, historical romance. And so I was learning a little bit of history, a little bit, because the authors really try to get it right. And I was reading, fantasy and escape, that part. Didn't know that about estate sales. Yeah, so we used to go to estate sales. Back in the day, I used to go to a lot of yard sales and estate sales and things like that. And you can get some really cool stuff. I mean, I've gotten some things for, like, I have a Bulova watch that I got for like $1. I mean, it had to be less than $10 because that's my limit. I would take $10, $1 bills, $1 bills I would take when I go. And it's like, that's all I'm going to spend. That's all I'm gonna spend. And I would go and they would have like, like a table set up and it would have like jewelry. And it was like, oh, that's cute, that's cute. Oh, so that's pretty. It's a 10 carat white gold Bulova watch, woman's watch for, I don't know how much I paid for it, but less than $10. But the thing about estate sales is that sometimes there are estate sales for a family's liquidating things after somebody's passed away. But sometimes there's estate sales for somebody's gotten, sick or elderly or whatever, and they can no longer live by themselves. And so I don't like to go to those because that makes me sad. that somebody's, their things are being sold off, because a lot of times they don't even know that their things are being sold off, or they don't agree that their things are being sold off, that kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just not good. And then sometimes they're there. And it's like, it's really sad because they're sad about their things being sold. It's like, yeah, no. So I like it when it's handled by a third party, that the kids are not there, the family's not there. It's handled by a third party. And yeah, they hired somebody to come in and do. Then I don't mind an estate sale with that. And you can find some really good deals at estate sales. I found some just interesting things over the years. But anyway, romance books can be spicy. Yes, they can be spicy. They can be very spicy. um I was trying to remember what was that author that I used to read all the time. Ooh, I can't remember. I can't remember, but I did when I was in high school. I read a lot of romance books. That was my bread and butter, is reading romance, historical romance. I don't like the what do they call them? The beach. What do they call them? The vacation. What do they call them? The ones where I don't know. Whatever. I don't like to read modern ones. Yeah, they have to be they either have to be, the characters have to be something that I could never be, or they have to be in a place that I could never be, or yeah, it can't be something that I could actually experience, because it makes me mad. That part. But yeah, fantasy and escape. I love fantasy. I love science fiction. Um, and I like trashy novels. Yes, I do. Because that's where it should be, on the pages, on pages. That's where that kind of thing is. It should be on pages of books. It shouldn't be in real life. It should be on pages of books, and that's why you read them, because it's on pages of books, because it's not real life. Because then you can say no humans were hurt in the production of this, um, in the production of this book. Um, I don't do estate sales much anymore. I want to, but it's more fun when you go with somebody. There was a friend of mine who bought really a house, a historical house. It's like a turn of the, not last century, but the century before, like 1900s, built in a late 1900s house. And he wanted pieces for the house that were close to that period. And so he was doing a lot of estate sales. And so we would go together, and that was kind of fun. He was like, "Oh, there's an estate sale coming up. Let's go." So that was fun. It's nice to go. Do you want to hear a secret? You got to keep this quiet. Oh my gosh. You're going to tell me that you write novels and your pseudonym is what? Go ahead and tell me, because I'm getting ready to write it down so I can read your books. I went to this workshop and this woman told me I write these kinds of books. I was like, what? I love to read those kind of books. Her books were good too. So what's your secret? You gotta keep it quiet. Okay, I can't promise to keep it quiet because I'm on YouTube, dude. Don't tell me on YouTube. Send me a message. Okay, I need a pen. Y'all, I'm so silly sometimes. I'm so silly. Okay, there's my purse over there. I have a little book, I have this right here. This does not have pens in it. This does not have pens in it. I have one like this that has pens in it, but this is not the right one. This one has rocks in it. Yes, rocks or crystals, whatever. See? Rocks. See? Here's a raptor rock. The rock. I was looking for the one that has pins in it. Okay. Are you going to tell me the secret or are you just going to tease me? Dude. I got my book. Crochet hooks. Not the one with the pins in it. Y'all, you see this? Crochet hooks. Crochet hooks. Okay. Okay, I have a pen. Oh, no. You said you were going to tell me. I got my book. I got my pen. And everything. I'm not happy. Okay, you're right. You probably shouldn't broadcast this. So, yeah, you're right. I'm not a writer, but I can spin the yarn. Okay. All right. So tell me when. When do we have story time? That's what I want to know. When is it? When does it happen? What's today's date? Today is 15th. Ooh, Lord. Turn that frown upside down. It's kind of embarrassing. Don't. Wait a minute. Okay, look. First of all, let me just tell you something. Um, it's a writing persona. Okay. Let me just tell you something. Didn't you say you were 63 years old? Life is short. Live. You got to live. Life is short. You have to live. You have to live your life on your terms and not anyone else's. Are there things that I have done that I do that are embarrassing? Yeah, some things. But for the most part, no. I'm a 62-year-old woman and I can read what I want to read. If I want to read trashy novels, I read trashy novels. If I want to write trashy novels, I write trashy novels. It's not hurting anybody. Nobody is harmed in the process. Nobody is harmed in the process, right? And so is it embarrassing? I don't not really. I don't think anybody needs to know about it necessarily, but I don't really care if people know. It's my life. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it. So I enjoy reading trashy novels. So what? I'm gonna still read them. I not only do I enjoy reading that, I enjoy reading a lot of things. Y'all have seen some of the books that I have on here. I read everything. Nothing's off the table when it comes to reading. If you were to look into my Kindle, you would go, she's got what? You're like, what? You go like, what? You would look at the titles and go, these don't connect. Yeah. Anyways, so a writing persona. You've been doing it for a while. Okay. I've thought about, um, I've really thought about, it's like maybe I should write a book about this, or maybe I should write a book about that. Honestly, I enjoy writing for me, but I don't enjoy writing for other people. I've got, like I said, I've got 11 books that I've written. I think it's 11. I don't even know how many it is. Honestly, I don't know how many it is because when I sit down to write, I'll sit down and I'll write, and sometimes I finish them, sometimes I don't. Um, Sometimes I start and then I abandon them. But yeah. Four of C's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Desire. But yeah. Breathing is the first step to living. Is it though? Is it really? I wrote that. Yeah. It may not be, but kind of it is because um that's the first thing you do. Isn't it the first thing when you're born, the very first thing you do is you breathe. And until then, are you alive? Well, maybe. Yeah. That's interesting. Interesting. What? I was a male prostitute in Key West when I was discharged from the army. But were you good at it? That's the question. That's interesting. That is very interesting. It was a long, long time ago. You were in Key West. Did you like being in Key West? I was excited to visit Key West. I would like to go back. I went there on a cruise. I'd like to just fly in and stay for a while. It was a long, long time ago. I think it's I have opinions. Everybody has opinions about things, but it's a job. And I was very good. Oh, okay, cool. You should write a book about it. I mean, not about it. Okay, what am I saying? I'm saying you should write if you wrote a book about it, not as in a true, but as fictionalized. I would read it because I love that kind of stuff. Absolutely do. I was very good. Mendez hired me. Cool. Static. Yeah. Gemini. Life is, you know what? Life is interesting. Life throws different things at you at different times, and everything that life throws at you just makes you. It really makes you. It forms the person that you become. You know, it just forms who you become, and you can either live live it. You know, just live through it, and become what it is you were meant to become, or you can regret it. And which do you want to do? I look back at my life, and I mean, my life has been, I've been through some stuff. I've been through some stuff, and I look at it, and it's like, it got me to where I am today, and where I am today is in a pretty good place. Would I have I never thought I was a woman, nor did I think I passed as a woman, but my clients thought I did. Whoa, that's amazing. That's pretty interesting. The human brain is very interesting when it comes to stuff like that. The human brain is very, very interesting because our brains will let us believe stuff. I never thought I passed as a woman, nor did I think so. But my clients thought I did. It's interesting. I have like 101 questions that I would ask, but I'm not going to ask because it's your story. It's your story to tell as you want to tell it, and whatever. Um, you're putting it out here. And so the question I have for you is, do you want it out here? Because I can go back and delete these comments if you want me to. If you want me to delete them, I can go back and delete them, or I can make the comments not available if you don't want them out there. That's just that's up to you. Just let me know. Because I mean, I mean, this is a public. It's a live forum. It's a public forum, and all of that. But it's interesting. Like I said, I have a 101 questions. I want to know this, and I want to do that, and that. But it's your story. It is your story to tell. I just did it for a few years, but hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, whether you whatever. It's legit. That's the other thing. People don't seem to understand that it's a legit. It's a job. It's a living. It's what it is. What it is, and it's legit. And not only that, there's no judgment here. Not from me, anyway. There's no judgment from me because people make choices every single day, and you have to. Sometimes it feels like you don't have a choice, but you have choices, and you make choices every single day, and you're the person that has to live with that, not me. Mm, thanks. Thanks for what? You're welcome, but thanks for what? Yeah. Anyways. Um, whew, I'm getting tired, y'all. I'm not rocking, which is interesting because normally when I get tired, I start rocking, but I'm getting tired. um, but yeah, I think, yeah. Why thanks? That's what I want to know. You said thanks. Want to know why? But yeah, it's interesting. Oh, 15? Yes, Mike, exactly. 15. That'll do it. I probably should go 30 though. But I'm gonna go for 15 and see. Oh, understanding. Look, let me just tell you something about me. No, first of all, the reason I started this YouTube channel, the reason I go live on YouTube is because I want people to have a place where they can come and chill. Just chill. A place where it's a good time, where there's no stress, there's no pressure, you don't have to be anything other than yourself. Um, I am a 62-year-old woman. I'm a mother of two adult sons. And yeah, 30 is better. Okay, GT Junior, but you gotta come in here and say a word or two every now and then. You can't just be over there working and getting stuff done. You gotta at least let me know that you in the background. Okay, I'm just saying. But that's the reason I started this channel. What I wanna do is I wanna provide a place where people can come and can talk about whatever you need to talk about, whatever you need to talk about, you can talk about it here, within reason, because there's some things that I'm just not going to do. There's certain paths that I'm not going to go down. There's some things that I'm not going to do. But for the most part, as long as it's kept respectful, that's, we can talk about most things. We're not going to get into politics and religion because it's just too divisive. But other than that, I need, there's certain things that I do, um, and I do it because I realize that there are other people that are going through things in life the same way that I'm going through things in life. There are other people who have anxiety like I have anxiety. There are other people who live with depression like I live with depression. There are other people do who do different kinds of things in order to cope with the stresses and the pressures of life. I do gardening, I do crafts, I do this, I do that to cope with the pressures of life. That's what this channel is about. This channel is not about judgment. I ain't judging nobody. You got to do what you got to do. You got to make choices. Your choices that you have to do. You're the one that have to live with the consequences of it. I just like I had to live the consequences of my choices, and that's why I'm here. If you want a place to come and hang out, I'll be here. I try to be here. Most Monday nights I try to be here. If I can't handle it, then I'm not here. Y'all know how I am. Sometimes I will post that I'm not going to be here, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just don't show up because I just can't deal. I'm just not coping well. I just need a break, whatever. But otherwise, this is a safe place. This is a safe place to hang out. You want to talk about gardening? We can talk about gardening because you know me. I can talk about gardening all the time. You want to talk about crafting? I can talk about crafting all the time because that's what I do. You want to talk about art? You want to talk about writing? I love to write. You want to talk about reading? Y'all know I love to read. Y'all know I love to read. I'm just saying, I read almost every day. If I don't read something, no, I read every day. I read every single day. I'm not even going to say that. I read every single day. There's always a book reading, and I'm always thinking about what am I going to read next. What am I going to read next? I've got credits. Every time I order something from Amazon, I choose the Amazon Day shipping so I can get the credits so I can use those credits toward books. It's like I don't need it till next week. I don't need it till next week because if I need it right now, I mean, like I just ordered vitamins. It's like if I needed it right now, I would have. Yeah, I would have went down to CVS and bought them, but I'm ordering from Amazon. That means I can wait till next week to get them because then I can get a $3 credit so that I can buy another book. That part. I want to read. I love to read, but yeah, that's me. I love to write. Yeah. Anyways, y'all see, I just whatever. It's like I didn't need to do those things, but was kind of mixed up after we wrecked. The money was good and fairly easy. Look, we all do things. We all do things. You know what? It's a choice. It may not be the best choice. It may not be right for everybody, but it was the thing that you needed to do at that time to get through what you needed to get through. And you know what? You got through it. You made it through it. You're on the other side of it. And I'm just going to tell you, this is my story, my life. Do I have some PTSD? Probably. I was not in a war. I had some issues that happened in my life. I've gone through some traumas in my life. Do I have some stuff? Yeah, I do. How do I deal with it? Y'all know how I deal with it. I come on here and I talk and I hang out and I do what I need to. I do what I need to do. But I also, I have things. Do I have a life? Yeah, I have a life. I have kids. I have a husband. I have family. Everything. Yeah, it is. It is what it is. But life is difficult. People don't realize life is difficult. And however, whatever decision that you need to make in order to get through it one day at a time, one step at a time, 1 minute at a time, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. Um, I look back on my life and I'll tell y'all, um, there was a time when I just didn't know. I did not even, I tell you, I had a friend of mine who called me every single day. I am alive because somebody was there, because she called me. She just picked up the phone and called me every day. I am alive because life was so bad at that time that getting up in the morning, getting dressed, and going to work was more than I could handle. It was more than I could handle. The depression was so bad. I forgot what they call I forgot what they called it. Chronic depressive, a chronic depressive episode. I think is what they called it. I don't even remember what they called it. It was so bad. It was so bad. But somebody called me. Somebody called me every single day. I don't even know how long it lasted. All I know is that there was somebody on the other end. If that's what I need to be, somebody on the other end on Monday night, if that's what I need to be, then that's what I can be. Somebody on the other end. So that's what I need to be. That's what I can be. Because sometimes life is hard. It just is. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do so you can make it through. I had two little babies. They weren't babies at the time, but they were young boys at the time. And I needed to function for my kids. And that's what I did. I functioned for my kids because that's what I needed to do. And that's what I did. Luckily, we're not there anymore. We moved past that. We made it through that. We survived that. And we're here where we are now. And guess what? I have a YouTube channel and I can be here. I can be here for people and I can come up here on for Monday night and we can hang out and we can chat about all the things. All the things. have a question, y'all. This has nothing to do with anything. I have a Dremel, and I have a question about it because can you use regular drill bits on a Dremel? I don't know that you would want to, but I was just wondering if you could. I want to do some carving, just some I have some wood. I want to carve some designs in some wood. And I was thinking, how do I do that? Is there a special bit for that on a Dremel? I don't, does anybody know? Is there a special bit for like um car I just want to make a design. I don't want to drill it. I just want to make a design on the wood. So it's like, what is it called? Small ones. If it can fit in the chuck, you can use it. Okay. Is that what is there a certain see, this is the problem that I have. I want to do stuff. I don't even know how to ask the question. Yes, you can. I do that all the time. Okay, okay. Because I have these drill bits. Oh, hang on. Y'all, y'all see this? It's a medicine bottle. Ooh, look, it is full of drill bits. Look, you see this? Y'all see this? It's full of drill bits. Dremel has carbon bits. That's probably what I should do. I should probably go to I bet you I can get them from Harbor Freight or something like that. But I have these tiny ones. I was like, I have these tiny bits. I was like, I probably could use these tiny ones. These are just drill bits. Y'all. So I was in my toolbox. There are Dremel bits made for wood carving. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll look and see about getting a bit because I don't think that they came. I don't think it came with the wood carving bits. I think I only had the cutting and the sanding bits. But anyways, I have these pill bottles, medicine bottles. And it was like, this is the perfect size for all of my drill bits. I know. I cannot throw anything away. Thank you. I will look for the carving bits to see what's available because I want to do some wood carving. Yeah, see, I don't have enough to do already. I have plenty to do. I have plenty to do. I don't need one more thing to do. Anyways, LOL, be cool to do. I'll have to look into it and see. I don't really want to buy any bits, but I also don't want to make a mess. um, oh, yeah. I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I have an idea. I have an idea that I want to do some stuff, and it's like this will be kind of cool. And I had this a friend of mine. I keep saying this, a friend of mine. This guy I used to work with. Um, gave me some cedar. You want the right tool though. It's just what I have. Always buy the best bits you can afford. Okay. Um, he gave me some cedar boards. They're boards, they're just boards. And I thought, oh, I could probably, maybe cut a small board and then carve some designs in them. And, I don't know. I don't even know what I want to do. I want to play around with it and see what I can do. So, yeah, I will look and see about getting some. Because I don't think there's no carving bits in here. None at all. The only thing that are in here is the the only thing that are in here are the cutting things. Okay, there's a bit in here. That's a drill bit though. I don't know where that came from. I don't know how it got in there, but the cutting things and then the buffing and the sanding things. So that's all that's in here. Um, So I will look and see. I do have a wood carving. Um, what is that called? What are those things called? Wood. I don't know what they're called. Chisels. That's what it is. They're chisels. They're wood carving chisels. I was like, what are they called? I don't know. I bought them years ago. I was going to do some wood carving with that, and I never did anything. So I do have that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll use that. I don't know. Y'all see things. I have ideas. I have so many ideas. That part, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I will see about that. Maybe I'll make a video about it when I'm making a mess, because I'm sure I will make a mess. I'm almost certain that I will make a mess at some point. But we'll see. But anyways, drill bits. Yeah. Why are they here? Why are they here in the living room on the table? I don't know. I think I was doing a project and I needed them and I never put them away. That is a bad problem that I have, not putting things away. But yeah, but I do like the idea of keeping them in here, but because they're handy. Oh yeah, I would know what it was. I was putting the camera. I was putting the camera up, and that part, and so yeah, it was yesterday. Gouges, yeah. There. I think, yeah. I don't know what those things are called, but they are where they are. Always buy the best bits you can afford. Yeah. I I'm always buying something. And I should have gone to Harbor Freight this weekend because they had um their spend $30 and um get a bucket free. And I needed some things and I could have easily spent $30 there, but I didn't. I didn't go. I did good, and I didn't go. So that is that. I don't know whether that was good or bad, but I'm trying to do better about spending money. I need to because yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I need to do better about spending money. That part. Wood carving and burning is fun. I don't know. I don't have the tools for wood carving and burning, honestly. And I really don't want to purchase anything else when it comes to another craft. Y'all, I have so much stuff. Y'all don't understand how much stuff that I have. So much stuff. Like, so for a while I was making furniture. Just little things. Like I made little chairs for my sons and I made little bookshelves for their room and stuff. And so I have, saws and drills and, you know, bits and things, all the things. I have all the things. I have a skill saw. I have reciprocating. What is that? What is that called? I don't even know what it's called. It's not a bandsaw. It's a, I don't know. I have it's a jigsaw. That's what it is. A reciprocating jigsaw. Um, I have I think I have a miter box for my skill saw. I got all the things. I have all the things. I have tools. I have tools. I have tools because I was doing woodworking, I was building stuff and carpentry and stuff. And I was doing that and I was like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I need to do that. And then, I was making shirts, t-shirts. I made t-shirts. So I have all the vinyl and the Cricut and all of that stuff. Yeah, I was doing that. And then I was making cups, and so I have all of that stuff too. And and then I was sewing. So I have all of that. One of my past weeks of Key West days was my appreciation like they were always kind to me even when they did not have to be. Hey, nice. Kindness goes a long way and it doesn't cost you anything. But yeah, I have all the things. And so, anyways, I have all the things. And I keep saying, I am not going to buy one more thing, I have all the paint, I have all the canvases, I, I have fabric, I have sewing machines. Yes, S, sewing machines. Yes, yes. I have all the things. Um, so yeah. Um, so I don't want to buy, and like I said, I was gonna do some woodworking, so I bought those things. Even the garden stuff. I have the grafting kit. I do. I haven't used it, but I have it. um, yeah, all of that. Um, so yeah, I just need to use some of the stuff that I already have and not buy anything else. That part. That part. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna look into the bits, the bits for the Dremel, and see if I can find something that'll work. And maybe I may not even do it. Maybe I'll just pull out the paint and paint the wood and call it a day. It's like why you trying to carve it? It's like why are you trying to carve it when you could just paint it? Um, Key West. I was so excited to go to Key West. It's so funny how we were going to the Bahamas. Um, but what was I excited for? Key West. No, I wasn't excited for Bahamas. And you know what? We went to Bahamas and it was okay. And we went there and I enjoyed it. But I was really more excited about Key West than I was about the Bahamas. Yeah. Oof. And whoa. Life goes on and 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 on. Y'all, I can't help myself. I get, how do you just start singing out the blue? Just randomness, total randomness. Mhm. Total randomness. I live in solitude now. I have a few stories, but nothing exciting. I left the trade after a close call. Yeah, 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 yeah. I tell you, I look back on my life and I go, oh, but by the grace of God. um, my son, I have a son who's 25, and he was saying, Mom, we should sit down so you can tell me some stories, some lessons learned, some wisdom from the past. And I was like, boy, I don't know. You have to keep my secret. Okay, we'll keep your secret. I'm like, boy, I, my life is not about wisdom. My life is about how I made it over. Some of the things that I went through and some of the, yeah, how I made it over. Because I've been through some things. There's been some trauma and some drama in my life. And yeah, that part. And yeah. Yeah. But I made it. I made it. We made it. Not I made it. We made it. We all made. We here. It's like there's this song. It was like when I way back in the day I used to way back in the day when I lived in Florida. A friend of mine went to this folk festival at Stephen, shoot, whatever. I can't think of the name of it now. This is Stephen Foster, like Stephen. Jesus Christ, I don't remember. It was a state park. I can't remember the name of it right now. But we went to this folk festival there, and it was really nice. And there was a song. There was a band there, that we bought a cassette tape of their music, which is funny because I don't know if I still have the cassette tape, but I don't even know if it still works. I don't even know if I have anything that will play a cassette tape, and I don't think that it's available in digital form. And we made it out. Yeah, we made it. We made it out. But anyways, one of the songs was "This is a Crazy World that we live in." The lyrics for the song was "It's a crazy world that we live in." It's a crazy world that we live in, and if you can hear me singing, it's a crazy world that I live in. But and if you can hear me singing, so do you. And I've spent all of my lifetime being satisfied that there's nothing that I can do, that there's nothing in the world that I can do. But it's not true. That's the thing. There is something that we can do, even though there's nothing that we can do to change the world or make the world less crazy. That is true. But we can make it. We can make it. We can live in the world. We can live in the world. We can be in this world, and we can make it through. And that's the whole thing. And it's funny because I love that song. It's so funny. I love the song. I love the thing, and I wish I could get a digital copy of it, but I don't even know that it's available because, like I said, it was a little indie band. It was at a folk festival. It was geez, I can't remember the name of that park. Um, I think it was Stephen Foster. I think it was Stephen Foster State Park. Yeah, 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 in White Springs, Florida. But yeah, Stephen Foster State Park in White Springs, Florida. Um, Florida, and it was so cool. It was so cool. We had such a good time. It was right there on the Suwannee River, and we camped. we tent camped in the park, and and it was just fun. We It was fun. There was crafts and there was music, and we went swimming in the river, and it was it was cool. It was so cool, and it's so funny because I would love to see her again. I haven't seen her in years and years and years. I would love to see her again. I'm sure her daughter is now in her 40s, probably early 40s, late 30s, early 40s, and she was an infant at the time, so that's how long ago it was. She wasn't an infant, but she was a little toddler at the time. So I'm sure her daughters are grown, probably has children of her own. It was so cool though. We had a good time. But yeah, it's a crazy world that we live in. And if you can hear me singing, so do you. But it was a wonderful. I loved that cassette. It's so funny. I think back on it. It's like it was one of my road trip tapes that, I'd pop it in my car, well, my truck at the time. I pop it in my truck when I was on a road trip, and I would listen to it on the whole ride. There was a song on there that's called the lyrics were, "The moon comes through the pines in mason jars and gallon jugs." Yeah, it was about moonshine. The moon comes through the pines in mason jars and gallon jugs. I was like, that is so cool. That is so cool. I look back on it. Um, look back on it. It's like, man, um, Stephen Foster. Yeah, yeah. That was cool. That was cool. It was a great folk festival. They probably still have it. They probably still have it. It's probably an annual thing there. But like I said, we went there. Look, it was back in the '90s, and we were a bunch of free living people. For real, for real. Free living. Like I said, we were tent camping. Um, yeah, going swimming in the river was basically, yeah, every we went swimming in the river every day at the end of the day. And yeah, and it's so funny because I just it's something that I wouldn't even do today. There's no way I would go to a state park, to a festival, and camp out. It was two women and a kid camp out in a tent. And we weren't packing at the time. We weren't packing. There's no way I would do it not packing. No way I would do it not packing now. If I was doing, and that, you know what, I wouldn't even do it in a tent. I'd sleep in my car before I'd sleep in a tent. Um, for real, for real. But yeah, I got the kitchen clean. Besides not having time to do the oven racks, gotta call it a night. Have a good one, FR. Well, good night. Oh, you know what? It's time, y'all. It's time. Good night, GT, and you know what? Good night, everybody. I'm gonna call it a night as well. It was fun. It was some reminiscing. That was kind of cool. Back down memory lane. Some of the good memories of some of the good things that I did. Kind of crazy when I look back on it now, but yeah, in my life. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah. Good night, everyone. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Um, if all is well and the creek don't rise. Okay. Can we not do this? Okay, I can't do it. There you go. All right, y'all. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I appreciate y'all. Good night.